Hello, I'm Frances Fox, and I'm a trained remote viewer and psychic, and I apply my abilities to diagnosing business questions, medical issues, and I bring every week the information that I get via remote viewing having to do with your horoscope. This is your horoscope this week, April the 7th to the 13th, 2018. And the energies of the week that apply to everyone are: the world keeps turning as if nothing was going on, and yet you are in the deepest and darkest part of the apocalypse. This is the part where chaos should be leading you towards a transformation that is in keeping with the vibrations of the golden age. If you're doing exactly what you used to do, in the same ways with the same people, chances are you're not transforming your life to align with the new world that is just around the corner or even on another planet. Repeating this mantra in silence 50 times a day will soothe the path to a better life and to a better planet. The words are, you repeat them in silence, don't move your mouth. Please God, help me realign with the vibration of the golden age. Please God, help me with my intention to align with the vibration of the golden age. And now for your individual horoscope for this week. Aries, fire sign. Remember, all the fire signs are struggling with the excess fire of global warming, which means they're more impatient and more ready to snap at people and to cut their heads off. Once again, Aries, you have to make a choice, whether to overlook something or to take charge and fix it. Why don't you go ahead and fix it, as no one else can do this particular fixing but you. Taurus, why not? It's okay if others do not agree or understand what you're doing. They don't pay your bills, nor live your life. Just do what you want to do and it will work out. The planets are supporting your deepest intentions, but will not support a lashing out of those who did you wrong. So ensure that your choices are constructive and not destructive. Gemini, air sign. Now's the time to build a team to work with. Now's the time to move forward and formalize your projects and reveal them to those who can actually make a difference. Now, Cancer, water sign, the most emotional of all of them. Up and down and up and down, water moves. Be okay with everything that's happening and the pace at which it's happening. Nothing great can be built in one day. And that being said, those projects that are at the core of your lifelong intentions will be bigger than you ever imagined and more long-standing than you realize. Move forward. Leo, fire sign. Leos are struggling from what I can see with the information that I get through remote viewing. But they're ready for a big transformation. Leo, nothing will make up for what you just did, but if you can see that, then the experience was not a waste. Pay attention to what happened in your life and identify what you did that caused the rift. Take responsibility so that you can get out of victim mode. Virgo, earth sign, perfectionists. There's a difference between the perfectionism of Virgo and other types of perfectionism. The Virgo wants to know that they did things correctly. They don't need for the rest of the world to know it. They need to feel that they did things perfectly. And in that struggle, they end up with a lot of self-esteem issues. And a lot of times they don't move forward because they're afraid to make decisions. Virgo, for this week of the 8th of April. Whenever you're ready, the world will support your intentions. That will happen when you step up to bat and accept responsibility for your life. Are you doing that, or are you still blaming circumstances or other people? By the way, the movement that the planet is in, all this darkness, all this chaos, is to take us to a place where we recognize that we are masters because we saw what we did in our personal life that took us to that place of darkness. And rather than pointing our fingers at other people, we looked and said, whoa, I know how I set that up. Whether it was that before you incarnated, before you came into this incarnation, you determined that you wanted to achieve something incredible, but that you had to go through a lot of darkness to achieve it. And you chose that darkness in order to achieve that wonderful thing, which now, in retrospect, after watching thousands of people through the years, all of our deepest intentions, all of us without exception, has to do with helping the planet through this transition It all comes from a place of goodness and support of humanity, regardless what the action is. Libra, air sign, sign of the mind, but a lot of insecurity back and forth in terms of Libra. Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't want to make a mistake. Also self-esteem issues having to do with not wanting to make a mistake, but a lot of it has to do with how other people will view them when they realize they made a mistake. See how the ball is rolling in your direction, Libra? See how easily things are falling into place. See how you can get what you want and still feel safe? Allow things to happen and go with the flow. It's all moving in your direction. Scorpio, water sign, very evolved. I have noticed that Scorpios can do awful things, but when you widen your lens, it turns out that they're actually helping somebody else by doing something awful and usually traumatic in order to position the other person to see something that they needed to see. Very evolved people, Scorpios. Scorpio, don't hesitate to grab for what excites you, as being bored is like being in hell for you. That is so true of Scorpios. They're more afraid of boredom than they are of somebody pointing a gun at them. You'll be sorry if you take a back seat just because you're tired. I want to talk about the exhaustion for a minute. This country cannot keep its position, its economic position in the world, because everybody is entirely too tired. You can't be creative when you're too tired. You want to just do your job kind of okay, or maybe do it well, but you don't have the energy to start something new. That extra enthusiasm that is needed, you just don't have it because you're too tired. Got to take care of that. Sagittarius, fire sign. These people are, Sagittarius, are very frustrated. You should go back and see what has come up for them in the previous weeks. But they're on their way. Sagittarius, self-correcting your behavior has created a void in your life. So who do you hate now? Remember, they're a fire sign. And when you're too frustrated and you're a fire sign, it turns into hatred and after that, emotional violence. Where does that energy of hatred go? Or is it just recycling inside of your head and stomach? Use that fire to infuse life in the projects you adore and watch them blossom. Don't worry if nobody understands what you're doing. They never did, even in the times when you were incredibly successful. Capricorn, earth sign. Jesus Christ was an earth sign. And from what I've been seeing in the last several years, Capricorns are being set up for something very important. Capricorns are very stabilizing in people's lives. Difficult, demanding, perfectionist, no compliments, but they are very stabilizing. And they hold firm and they're seeking to reach the highest place. So if they're aligned with the vibe of the golden age, either they can go to a wonderful place or they can help take you to a wonderful place. So pay attention to the Capricorns in your life. Vomit all you want, Capricorn. The world is moving forward and your fears are not going to stop the process. Capricorns are full of fear. All the earth signs are. Stop blocking what others need to do just because of your fears and start doing what you really need to do in spite of your fears. You'll be supported in mysterious ways that you will never understand. There is something mysterious and sacred about what's going on with Capricorns. I don't quite understand it yet, but pay attention. Aquarius, air sign. A lot of people think it's a water sign. Air sign, the most evolved of all the air signs, and the air signs are the most evolved in terms of the mind of all of the signs of the zodiac. It's up to you how your life plays out, but please do not just wait for things to happen. Do something to move in the direction that you want. Don't just sit there hoping for someone or something to save you. Air signs are a little bit too disconnected from the earth element. So maybe if you're an air sign, you might want to make friends with somebody who's an earth sign. You won't be compatible. It'll be hard to have conversations that feel really, really good, but you're going to be getting an energy you need if you're having a hard time grounding your projects. The grounding comes from having the element of of earth in your life. Pisces, remember all those times you really wanted to tell somebody the truth about how you felt, but you didn't? You won't believe how much better you're going to feel when you tell others around you what is really bothering you about their behavior. Do it, and even your health will improve, and you will have a shine in your eyes that you lost years ago. Thank you for listening. I'm glad you listened to all of the horoscopes because you see, regardless of what sign you are, chances are your children have a different sign, your mate has a different sign, your boss has a different sign, that messy coworker has a different sign, and our president has a different sign. Our president is a Gemini. Communication, lots of talking, disassociated, moving forward without finishing their homework. Sound like our president? Has to do with his astrological sign. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Frances Fox.